Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is Xander Fryer with Shit You Don't Learn in College, and today we're going to talk about the 7 tips to help you scale fast. Now, according to Forbes, 50% of people think that entrepreneurship would be a great career choice. That means half of the people out there want to scale businesses. But according to a Gallup poll, only 4% of people worldwide are actually entrepreneurs. So 50% of people want to be entrepreneurs, 4% of people are actually entrepreneurs. That's a pretty big gap. So what does it actually take to scale a business, and what are the things that you need to focus on to actually get there? Well, since we've been able to scale to a $5 million business over the last few years, and we've helped over 800 entrepreneurs scale 6-figure, multiple 6-figure, 7-figure, and multiple 7-figure businesses, I thought it might be a good idea to take some of the things that we've seen work and share them with you. So I'm going to talk about the 7 things that you need to scale your business fast. Now, before I dig into the 7 points, I want you to understand that some of these points are going to be very tactical. They're going to be very strategic. They're going to be concrete and something that you can implement right now. Others of these are going to be more principles and guidelines that you have to live in order to be successful in your space. So the first and one of the most important things that I would say it takes to be successful as an entrepreneur and scale your business is investing in mentorship. Right now, so many people have this weird, skewed idea of around investing in mentorship. They think, oh, once I make some money, I'll have some money to invest. Or once I get clarity, I'll be able to invest in myself. And they're entirely missing the point. The reality is you'll never have the money unless you invest the money. You'll never have the clarity unless you invest on the mentorship. The truth is, building a business is like baking a cake. Success leaves clues. Now, if you want to bake a cake and you've never baked a cake before, are you going to try and bake a cake without a recipe on your own with no help when you first start going? No, of course not. You're going to Google a recipe to bake a cake in the very beginning. But why don't we do this with businesses? Because we're scared. Most of us have invested so much money in things like a college degree that got us nowhere. We think that investing in ourselves is a sunk cost. But the most important thing that I have seen from successful people is they invest in mentorship. That's number 1. Number 2, you have to have an incredibly clear vision around where you're headed, and you need to review it daily. Yeah, that's right, daily. So it's not just enough to have a vision. We all have a vision or a mission or a dream or whatever where we're headed. But the truth is, when you become an entrepreneur and if you want to scale, your job is going to be facing failure, facing objects, problems as you scale this business. Let me put this a different way. You're going to get punched in the face every single day as an entrepreneur. Now, the truth is, I want you to think about this. If you're going to get punched in the face every single day as an entrepreneur, if you're not super attached to your dream, to your vision, and you're not reviewing it every single day to remind yourself, to light that fire in your heart, every time you get punched, you're going to ask yourself, why am I doing this? Every time you get knocked down, you're going to ask yourself, is this worth it? Do I even want to be doing this? And if you're not reminding yourself of your big dream, your big vision, your why every single day, you're going to lose sight of it, and I promise you, you're going to quit. The most successful people, when it comes to scaling, they never lose sight of their dream, they never lose sight of their vision, and they never lose sight of their why. How do you do this? Review it daily. I have my big goals, my big dreams written on my whiteboard at the entrance to my office, so every day when I walk into my office, I see it every single day. I can never miss it. And every day when I walk out of my office, I have to look at it again. I visualize it in the morning when I'm meditating. I visualize it at night before I go to sleep. That vision never leaves my mind. You gotta make sure you're crystal clear on that vision and you're attaching to it every single day. The number 3 thing that you need to be successful and scale your business as an entrepreneur, stress management, mindset work, meditation, good health habits, whatever it takes. The reality is, if you want to scale, scaling your business, growing your business requires you to grow as a person. Well, if you need to grow as a person, growth requires stress. Think about it. Think about a muscle. How do muscles grow? If you want to grow your biceps, you go put stress on them. You go put tension on them in the gym. You put weight on them. You tear the muscle so that it can rebuild. The same is happening with yourself and your business. You're going to put yourself under emotional stress, mental stress, physiological stress, financial stress. You're going to be putting yourself under a lot of stress. And if you want to grow faster, you're going to put yourself under more stress. Your goal is not to run from stress. Your goal is to be able to handle the stress. So having really good health habits and stress management habits is absolutely crucial. Whether you meditate, you do cold therapy, cold plunges, cold showers, things like that. Whether you do breath work, make sure that you're eating properly, make sure that you're sleeping properly, getting good nutrition, getting hydrated, working out. All of these things help to make sure that you can handle the stress that you're putting on your body, your mind, and your soul. Without it, I've seen so many entrepreneurs fail simply because they cannot handle the stress of what it takes to scale a business. All right, now we're on to the more tactical stuff. Now, the next step that I want to talk about here is the importance of starting with what I call an MVP. It's not just what I call, it's what everybody in the industry calls an MVP. That's a minimum viable product, and focusing on sales. Now, Mark Ford talks about this in his book, Ready, Fire, Aim. His pen name's Michael Masterson. In his book, Ready, Fire, Aim, Mark Ford talks about how he has over 24 businesses that he's helped scale to 7-figure, multiple 7-figure, 8-figure, multiple 8-figure, even 9-figure businesses. And all the way up to your first $1 million, he says there's one thing that you should be focusing 80% of your time on, and most people do not focus their time there. Can you guess what it is? It's selling. Most people think that in the beginning they need to focus on getting a perfect product or a perfect service or whatever it might be. But the reality is you need to get a minimum viable product, and you need to get it out into the market, and you need to test it. Because if you're trying to develop a perfect product in a vacuum, it's not going to be perfect. You might think it's going to be perfect, but you can never build a business around what you want. You have to build a business around what the world wants and what they want to buy. And the only way to do that, to develop that perfect product, is to get it out there. You have to develop an MVP, a minimum viable product, put it out into the market, see what they like, see what they don't like, see what you need to adjust, see what you need to change, and make it better. And then you can put a new version 2 out, version 3 out, version 4 out, and it gets better and better and better until the product becomes perfect. But the only way to do that is to get a minimum viable product out there and focus on selling. Mark Ford says up to your first $1 million, 80% of your energies and efforts should be on sales and sales-related activities alone, because you're going to learn the most that way. You're going to learn what your clients want. You're going to learn about where they are. You're going to learn about the language they use. You're going to learn how to make your product better, so that eventually down the line you really can have a perfect product market fit. That's what we're searching for. So that's number 4 here. So number 5, once you've developed a minimum viable product and you've started selling it, you're going to start to get a really good idea of what works in your market. But while you're doing this process, you're probably going to be testing out a lot of little things. You might test out different angles, or maybe different types of your product, or different areas, different target audiences, different language and offers that you're going to be working with. So you might be testing a lot of different things when you're first getting started. Now, in order for you to scale, number 5 is what we call streamlining. Once you figure out what your product market fit is, what your message is, what your language is, who your avatar is, you need to simplify. There's 2 ways to make a speedboat go faster. You can either put a bigger engine on the speedboat, or you can get more weight off the speedboat. Now, to get to your first $1 million, $2 million, $3 million, we highly suggest you take the latter here to make that speedboat go faster. You want to get more weight off the speedboat. What we've found with entrepreneurs is really, to get to your first $1 million, $2 million, $3 million, you just need one. You need one avatar with one problem that you solve, one product that helps solve it, and one lead generation mechanism and one sales conversion mechanism, and you can make it to $1 million, $2 million, $3 million, totally fine. Right? Breaking past your first $1 million requires simplifying. Now, it's only once you get to multiple millions and you want to break the 8-figure mark that you should start to have multiple products and things like that. So when you're first scaling, simplify, do less. This is one of the biggest mistakes I see entrepreneurs make. Maybe they get to their first 6 figures and then they go, oh, I'm going to get to 7 figures by doing more things. And the reality is, no, you just need to get better at doing that one thing. So focus on less, streamline to get things going faster. Now, number 6 is not really something that you just kind of tactically do once. This is something that you should be doing during the entire process of becoming an entrepreneur and being more successful as an entrepreneur. I need you to focus on mastering the big 4 high-income skills. Because the better that you get at these big 4 high-income skills, the more your business is going to grow. Now, what are the big 4 high-income skills? Number 1, copywriting. Learning how to put together words on a written page, a landing page, a sales letter, an email, social media, whatever it might be. Copywriting is the written word that can persuade others to take action. Learn how to copyright, number one. Number two is sales. Sales is copyright in spoken form. So whether it's over the phone or whether that's over a DM conversation, whatever that might be. Learning how to sell is the second high-income skill that you need to master. Number three, speaking or orating, becoming a speaker, being able to produce content like this, talk to audiences, get up on stage. All of those sorts of things allow you to become a thought leader in the space and allow you to become more authoritative. That's number three. And then number four, leadership. Learning how to lead yourself, learning how to lead others, and learning how to lead leaders is ultimately going to be what allows you to replicate and scale, which we'll get into next. And that brings us to the final number 7. Now, the truth is, to make money, sometimes you got to spend money, and you have to do what replicates. Now, the truth is, when you're ready to scale a business, it doesn't matter what you can do as an entrepreneur. It only matters what replicates, what duplicates, because that's going to be what allows you to really scale. Now, there's 2 ways to replicate and duplicate. You can replicate through automation and technology, or you can replicate through people. So this is where your leadership skills are going to come really valuable. Your ability to put together systems, SOPs, are going to become even more valuable, because the truth is, if you want to scale, there's going to be a point when you can no longer be responsible for driving all of the operations. You have to oversee everyone else and lead them and make sure that they do it. Now, in the end, scaling a business is fun, but it's not easy. There's a lot of people that want to do it, but there's very few people that will actually put in the work to make it happen. It requires persistence. It requires resiliency. It requires facing fears, getting uncomfortable, putting in the work, and making some amazing shit happen. But if you're willing to put in the work and you follow these steps, you can absolutely do it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to hit the like button below and let me know. Comment below if you have any other specific topics you want me to hit in a future video. And do not forget to subscribe to our channel so you never miss another great video, and I'll see you in there.